Professor Shah of University, Pakistan. So, in this lecture, I'm going to discuss about the survey research. Much has been talked by me in my videos on the survey research, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the different tools of the survey research. Normally, in our research at the different level, MS, PhD level, we are required to conduct the survey. When we are going to design a questionnaire, then definitely we are going to collect the data. And when you're designing the questionnaire, after that when we are going to collect the data, here basically different tools are available to us. Which tools are there? What are their advantages and disadvantages? And either we can use one or we can use the mixture of all these tools, and then some ethical guidelines are also given. So, and some other things are like the observations also there. So these are some of the points which I will discuss in this videos. That is, so let's discuss the first one. That's about the survey research. In the survey research, as I already told you that we are going to design a one questionnaire. When you're designing a one questionnaire, so definitely what we do that we want to collect the data. Now we can, after designing and developing the questionnaire, now the questionnaires are available to us in the two forms. One is a printed questionnaire, like the hard copies, and another is a soft copy, electronic questionnaires. And when we are going to distribute the printed questionnaire, the tools which are available to distribute the printed questionnaire, these are mail, in-person drop-off, inserts, and the facts. When you talk about the electronic questionnaire, the tools are available to us. These are the email, internet website, and interactive crossings. Dear students, when you talk about the self-administrative questions, it means that the respondent is independent to fill out the questionnaire at his or her own convenience. And further, there is no indirect relationship between the interviewer and the interviewee. So both are independent. They can do anything in their free time. The respondent can fill out the questionnaire. This is the basic concept behind the fill independently. That means in the most of the cases, the interviewer or the researcher is absent, or there is no any direct interaction between the researcher and the respondent. In the most of the cases, even they do not know each other. The certain gap is remaining between the independent respondent and the researcher or interviewer, or the person who is conducting survey, or organization which is conducting the survey. There are many different ways for distributed self-administered questionnaire, like the mailing through the fax machines, websites, locations and places are there. For example, airline flights are there, restaurants are there, hotels are there, playgrounds are there, stadiums, different options there is where the gathering of people is there, you can go over there. Like the shopping malls, cinemas is there. Even though you can also go inside the university and find out the classroom, visit the classroom, and you can distribute your questionnaires among the students while they are in their classrooms. You can also collect distribute your questions when the students are in the libraries. So these are different options are there from the location and the places point of view. And then another method is that you can also insert the copies of your hard copies of your question inside the magazine or the newspaper. Dear students, as already I told you that in the most of the cases, the researcher, the person who is conducting survey and respondent, they do not know each other. The certain gap is there. And another thing, above all, the absence of the interviewer, absence of the conducting survey person, this time the gap creates a certain problem. So now that's why the researcher who is going to interpret a self-administered questionnaire are developing the self-administered questionnaire, is required that he should be highly skillful in developing and designing the questionnaire, because you are going to distribute these either in the written form or electronic form rather than the verbal. In the most of the cases, there is the absence of the interviewer or surveyor. So in this case, the certain issues may occur over there. So that's why, like, the misunderstanding of the questionnaire items, certain sometimes the items which are like the words which you're using, these have a subjective meaning. So these issues are there because of that one. Your questionnaire or the item inside your question may be misunderstood by your researcher, by your respondent. So that's why researcher is highly required to design and develop the question in such a way that the person can understand. This is the normal procedure. Just the normal steps are there. Some other steps may be added in this process. Some steps may be deducted from this one. It depends from the from place to place. So normally, for your understanding only, I have provided this to you. But the first of all, how is this process start? This process starts sample selection. After selecting your sample, the first thing is that you are required to provide a little of introduction. That means you should introduce yourself to your respondent, and then probably you can go on their home, their office, knock their door, and you can request him for the home interview, or we can also request him that, okay, please fill out our questionnaire, and then you can hand over this questionnaire to them, and later on, after a certain time, you can come and pick up that filled questionnaire from your respondent. This is a normal procedure. And then the first one is about the mail survey. When you talk about the mail survey, it means that any type of the questionnaire which you are sending through the mail, like any courier company, if you are sending, dear student, this is an example of a questionnaire. This question has been developed by me for your own understanding. Now this is the topic of this questionnaire, and this is the first construct. First construct, second construct, and third construct. So inside every construct, there are different items are there. Like in this construct, quality of physical environment, there are the 4 items. This is a general example of this your questionnaire. Now, when you are going to distribute this questionnaire now this questionnaire you have to distribute among your respondents through the mail. And then mail survey involves sending the covering letter to your people. Now, dear students, why we should send the cover letter? The problem is that, already I told you, in most of the cases, the researcher or surveyor and respondent, they do not know each other. The certain gap is there. So how to fill that gap? Your covering letter or introductory letter is going to cover that gap. Now, for example, I'm going to show you the example of the covering letter which I developed during my PhD work. When I was doing my PhD at a time, I developed one like the covering letter which I'm going to share with you here. Now, this is the covering letter. This is the topic of my assignment dissertation, and I introduced myself here, and then I studied. If you go through this whole text, you will find that I've introduced my topic, my objectives, and also I've discussed some importance of the SMEs, and then I encourage to my respondent that they should fill out this questionnaire. And I also provided some other alternatives. If the manager, owner manager, anyone can fill out their questionnaire. So in this way, that means you are going to introduce yourself as well as you can also introduce your research. This is the way. In this way, you are going to fill out that gap, which I already told you that the gap is there. So this is the introductory letter which can fill out this gap, and because you are not there. And then this method has also certain advantages and disadvantages. So all these are the advantages and disadvantages. Let's discuss one by one each. Now, if we talk the first advantage, geographic flexibility. So now geographically, you are much flexible in this one. You can send out your questionnaire through the mail anywhere in your country, or even you can send out this questionnaire anywhere in the world, depending on your sample size. So from this point of view, you are highly flexible, no any problem, and you can send out in. For example, the researchers are survey who are living in the northern areas of the Pakistan. For them, it's very difficult to collect the data from the respondents who are living in the south of the South Pakistan, southern Pakistan. In the same way, for the south who are researchers who are living in southern Pakistan, for them it's very difficult to collect the response from the people who are living in the northern Pakistan. So now this the difficulty can be resolved by with the help of the mail server, and that means that it's also so cheap. Okay, because if you compare when your person then is interviews. To conduct the interview, in most of the cases, the surveyor is required to go in the remote places to conduct or to record the interview or interviews of the same respondent. So this activity may cost much more money, time, and effort. But from this point of view, this is a much cheaper, and then you can also collect the data through this one from those who are remain much more busy, like the executive CEOs, CFOs, and then from these people, it's also somewhat easy through this method you can collect the data. From cost point of view, it's cheaper to conduct the calls than personal interview and telephonic interview, because personal interviews and telephonic survey both they require some money to incur on them. If you now from that point of view, it's cheaper than these methods, tools. Another respondent convince the big the benefit for the respondent is the respondent has time to fill out their question at their own convenience, at their own timing, at their own place. And when they are free, when they feel free, so now they can provide you the more accurate and data and information. And also the respondent has enough time to think about the before taking or before giving the response to your any item in your questionnaire. So this is another benefit is there, and another benefit is about the absence of the interviewer. Sometimes the absence of interviewer is like a blessing for the respondent, because if during the absence of interviewer or surveyor, the respondent they can disclose sensitive information, they can tell out the whatever they are thinking of with them is about the product, about the service, whatever the concept which you are discussing with them through your questionnaire. They can be true, they can be provide all accurate information. The problem is that because they during the absence of the interviewer or survey. So in most of the cases in the mail survey, the respondent does not know the interviewer or survey, and survey does not know to the respondent. In this case, then is the respondent may become much more open and may try to answer your all the items truthfully. And then also in this method, the biasness can be reduced. In last chapter, I discussed in my last 3 videos, I discussed about the biases errors are there. So those errors can be reduced. Those errors cannot be finished, they cannot be ended, but those errors, the margin of errors can be reduced. And then disadvantages, definitely every tool has advantages and disadvantages. So now this tool has also several disadvantages, like the interview absence. Sometimes it's a blessing for it's a good thing, but sometimes it's creating a problem. The problem is only in case of the subjective nature. Some items in the inside your question may have a subjective meaning. So now, during the absence of your interviewer, the respondent may understand or misunderstand the meaning of your item which you have provided in your questionnaire. And then the respondent may thus misunderstand certain question or aspect of it. Now, During your exam, this problem may occur. There is a misunderstanding of your items. Standard is every questionnaire is containing some standardized questions because again the lengthy questionnaire are disliked by the people. So therefore, if in order to design and develop then is the suitable or the questionnaires, you may be required to 1 to 3 pages. In that these pages you are required to put all the questions. So therefore, most of the time the surveyors are researchers they prefer this to raise questions. So sometimes now, those standardized questions have not been clarified by the interviewer or by the survey. Then again, the problem of the misunderstanding or the over comprehension problem may occur because of standardized questions. Time factor is very much important in this one. For example, if you are in a hurry or if you want to get information as quickly as possible, then this tool is not appropriate. The problem is that this tool requires few weeks, probably few months, maybe in some cases. So from this point of view, this method is not useful if you are in a hurry, if you want to collect your data as soon as possible. So from this point of view, this survey may not be beneficial. This tool may not be beneficial for you. And then another is the length of questionnaire. That means the higher the length of the questionnaire, lower the response. And the lower the length of questionnaire, higher the response. This is the like the relationship between these two. Quite long, usually we talk if your questionnaire is containing 6 or more than 6 pages. Because in most of cases, respondent may not be ready to put their effort in time to read all the pages and then to respond you in most of the cases. So the good thing is that you should provide certain incentive to all these ones as they can they can fill out the questionnaire with some enthusiasm, some interest because of incentive. Now, incentives may be monetary or in the non-monetary. Financial incentives and non-financial incentives. Different type of incentives are there. Like you can provide you a coupon, you can provide some cash money inside that one. Some you can also make promise. Okay, once you fill it, then I will transfer some dollars or some rupees into your account. Now, in this way, certain type of the incentive you can provide to your respondent in order to encourage your respondent to fill out the lengthy questionnaires. And the wrong respondent question may be answered by the target respondent. Like this happens in most of them is when the senior executives are falling in your these are the targeted respondent. In most cases, this happens because of shortage of the time. These senior executives they are assigning the same filling of their questionnaire to their subordinate, and then the subordinate they are going to fill out on behalf of the senior executive. This is the problem. The problem occurs here because of the absence of the surveyor or the researcher, and the big issue here that's a low response rate. If you read out the different research papers and the thesis dissertations, they have used this tool to collect the data. They have a big low response rate because even though in the literate or in the highly developed countries, the people they are not ready to provide their response, especially all these ones. Though now in the most of cases the response rate remains very low, and even though 40% or 30% out of the 100%. Social factors are also there because of the absence of the respondent, absence of your researcher, some issues may be there, social, economic factors such as educational level. Now, further, if you are going to design and develop your question into the English language, so now in Pakistan, most people they do not know about the English language. Now, alternatively, you are required to develop its version into the local languages. So now, the version which have been developed in the local, these may be distributed among those people who in those areas where you think that their educational level is very low. And again, economic status also depend, because now the those people who are very poor, they do not, normally they do not want to respond these proven, and those who have some time, some money, now they may try to respond you. More educated way to respond it, and those with the more interest in the subject area tend to apply more questionnaire. And now another issue is also the subject area. This is also very important. If you are finding the right person for your survey, then definitely they can fill out their survey with some enthusiasm, some attention. Otherwise, they will fill out the questionnaire, but sometime of that they remain unengaged. Now, unengaged response is also a big issue. Now, what is unengaged response in this one that we normally have seen? That is that in certain questions, the people are either filling one across the whole questionnaire, or the five or three. Now, it shows you one, it gives you one clue that probably this questionnaire was, and the respondent was not engaged in this one, and so he was in a hurry and just he filled out either one in the whole, or five in the whole one. So these are some disadvantages are there. And then another, okay. So in this one, I want to show you some other material like the OKD. So I'm going to end this lecture here in the mail survey. So I hope we will meet again in another part of this survey. Thank you very much for your time, for your effort.